Hey guys, it's Upita. Welcome back to another video. For today, we're going to do a story time slash get ready with me and also a life update. So I'm going to be getting ready with you guys and just chit-chatting about a couple of stuff that you guys have been asking me. So before we get started with this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. That helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. I already did my brows off camera because that's usually what takes me the longest. So for today, I'm just gonna do like my everyday makeup look, which is usually what I like to do when I'm doing like story times and like get ready with me and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like it just makes it a little bit easier as well. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going to be taking this palette. This one is from Beauty. This is like my to-go palette. Absolutely love it. I'm just going to set everything in place and then just going with like a brown shadow and work on my crease. So okay, let's get started. And I know a lot of guys are here because you guys are like, oh my god, what's going on? Are you still being haunted? What do you mean you went to the house with footage? All that kind of stuff. And okay, here's what has happened. Okay, so if you have been keeping up with my storytime videos, then you would know that when we first moved into this house, Jason, my son, and people that were coming over to the house were experiencing a couple of stuff, like some weird stuff. And if you guys haven't checked out those videos, I will leave them a link down below so you guys can go check them out. I updated you guys that we found a cemetery pretty close to the house and how there was a house near the cemetery where the owner of all this land lived, and he is now buried in the cemetery with his family. So again, if you guys want full-on story details, everything, check out the other videos. So then on the vlog channel, I asked you guys, hey, Jason's been asking me if you guys want, he's down to take you guys to the house and show you guys like what the house looks like right now. Like it's not obviously in great conditions, but Jason will be like down to take you guys to the house. So everyone was like, yes, tell Jason to take us, tell Jason to take us. I personally told you guys, I am not going to the house. I'm going nowhere near the house. I don't like to be around that stuff. And Jason, he's one of those people that he's very stubborn. If you tell him no, he'll still do it, you know, because he's like the type of person when he gets something in his head, like he wants it done no matter what. So he's very stubborn. He's also very nosy. And so I was like, no, don't go, don't do it. You just never know. So it's good to stay on the safe side and not go and not look at anything. He was like, no, but I really want to. Like everyone's saying that I should take them. I was like, you know what, if you want to go, you should go. But I am definitely not going. I'm not getting near any of that stuff. I believe I did update you guys. Did I not update you guys? I'm pretty sure I did. So I told you guys that by the house, wherever we walk, we have like this little routine where we go walking around the neighborhood. There was sheds, and it looked like there was a house, but that was separate from the cemetery and the house of the owner, right? So I told you guys there was a couple abandoned sheds, and keep in mind guys, when we first moved in here, the construction was going on, you know, there was a lot of movement, but now the construction has expanded. They're building houses like hotcakes, so there's a lot of movement going on. They're trying to build as many houses as they can, so they're knocking everything out of the way. So before, the sheds were kind of visible, but there was a lot of like trees and like woods surrounding them, so it was kind of scary. So now it's to the point where it's kind of like just a little strip of trees with the sheds inside, and then the rest is completely like knocked down, you know? So one day we were, you know, just walking in the neighborhood, and I was walking with Liam, and Jason goes, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go and I'm just going to like record, because I also want to show them like the footage of these sheds and like all that stuff. And I'm like, Jason, do not go in there, Jason. Please don't go. I'm telling you, like, let's just continue our routine of walking. He's like, no, look, there's like still construction people there. There's still workers there. Like, I'm good. I'm not even that scared. So it was pretty late, but not too late, because there were still people working in the houses. So there was a lot of movement going on. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna go. Guys, keep in mind, I tell Jason to not do something and he does the opposite, and that's one thing that irritates me about him. And so at this point, and I was like, you know what, it's kind of just telling the sun, hey son, don't come out today, you know? It's like, the sun's still gonna come out regardless. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let him do his thing. And I was like, Liam, you stay here with me. Your daddy is gonna do his own thing. We're gonna let him do his thing. Me and you are going to stay here. So then me and Liam start just like playing around. We're playing patty cake, you know, while Jason's over there filming. So Jason doesn't take that long to film, and he actually recorded the abandoned sheds and the house for you, and I'll play that clip for you guys now.
I'm scared, guys. I don't think I should be here. Look, that's the house. And literally it's about to fall. Right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I probably shouldn't be here, but look. See all that? What was that noise? Oh my god, that's so scary. I don't know if I can get closer because there's a fence right there. That's the house right there. Try to get a little bit closer.
So as you guys can see, he took you guys with him to see the sheds, and there was actually an abandoned house there, which we had no idea. We thought it was just like abandoned sheds, but there was also a home there. And so Jason continues like, then he's like, that wasn't even that bad, you know, like there's still people working, it's still daytime, like it was pretty like scary but not too scary, you know. I feel like if it would have been like nighttime and he would have gone by himself, there's no way on earth he would have gone to like record that for you guys. But he's just like the type of person that if you guys tell him something, like most likely he'll be like, yeah, I'm down to do it for you guys, you know. I'm the type of person where I'm like, I don't care who tells me, I'm not doing it, you know. So after Jason records that for you guys, we keep on walking and we have a little routine. We have kind of like our own little route of like where we walk like around the neighborhood and all that stuff. But lately, you know, since it's been getting dark like around 5:40 or 6, we basically cut our routine halfway. So we don't take like the whole mile walk that we usually do, we just cut it halfway, you know. So it had been a hot minute since we walked all the way towards where the street is that takes you towards the cemetery, right? So that day we decided to just walk our entire routine, and we see that the construction is developing so much. There used to be a gate that would take you to the road, and the road is very small that takes you to the cemetery. There used to be a gate, and they would close that gate during the nighttime and open it during the day for the people to pass by that was like doing construction and stuff like that. We now look and there's no more gate. There is no gate at all. There is like just trucks passing back and forth, like, and we're like, what the heck is going on? Like, what? They're gonna start building the houses already? So we had heard that they were gonna start building houses all the way down to the cemetery based on like what we read on the article and like all that stuff. And here's a little like a backstory prior to all this happening. Jason's brother was looking at houses here in our neighborhood and stuff like that. They went to go look at the model homes and he recognized Jason. He's like, hey Jason, how you been? How's the house? Da, da, da. And Jason goes, oh yeah, great. By the way, man, he didn't tell me there's a cemetery all the way back there. And he was like, haha, yeah, man. Like, it ain't that big of a deal, you know? He's like, there's gonna be houses built all the way back to the cemetery. Like, the cemetery is gonna be like a couple feet away from some people's homes. And Jason told me that and I was like, oh my god. I don't know about you guys, but that kind of stuff, it freaks me out. I know in the other videos a lot of guys were like, Pita, that's no big deal, like my house is literally behind a cemetery. And I'm like, dang girl, you brave. I am such a scary cat when it comes to those things, guys. I cannot. So we saw they started like knocking everything down. Like, you could see, like, if you would stand from like where the gate was, if you would tippy toe, if you're a little bit taller than me, you were able to kind of like see the cemetery a little bit. Let me go ahead and pop on these lashes and then we're gonna continue with the story because it's getting good, okay? Okay, let's continue with the story. So as me and Jason are talking, we're like, whoa, like what the heck? It's like developing so fast. They're gonna start building houses like in no time. It's gonna be ready. While me and Jason are having that conversation, this lady is jogging and she passes like right by. I was like, whoop. And I'm like, where's she going? And Jason's like, I think she's gonna go like all the way down to the cemetery. And I'm like, there's no way she's gonna like jog all the way down there. Keep in mind it was like already 5:30, so it's starting to get a little bit dark, right? And Jason's like, oh my gosh, she's jogging that way. Like, why are you freaking out? You see, like, it's already like basically anyone can go over there. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's obviously gonna be houses all the way down there. He's like, maybe we should go right now that she's jogging that way and I can record the house. And I was like, or maybe we can go back home, we can have dinner and call it a night. He's like, but look, she's jogging. And I'm like, nope, Jason, no, 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 no. We are definitely not going down there. So I convinced him to not go down to record the house that was the owner's house where now he's buried in the cemetery. So then we get home, we have dinner, and you know, the nighttime comes. And so I go to sleep, guys. I am at the point right now where I literally, as soon as my head touches the pillow, I am gone, guys. I am like completely like knocked out, you know? And so I'm like sleeping super good, and then I feel like someone's like tugging on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my god, what? And I wake up and it's Jason. It's Jason at like 4 in the morning, wide awake, guys, wide awake. And then I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I can't sleep. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't know. Like, I just have this fear in me. Like, I'm really scared for no reason. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, why? Like, do you want me to leave a light on? Like, are you fine? Like, me and Liam were like completely knocked out. I put him here in my chest, and then I just like start rubbing on his head. I'm just like scratching, like, you know, like this. And then I just kind of like start praying. And then when I least expect it, he's just like knocked out. I'm like, okay, now he went to sleep. So then I go to sleep. So then the next day comes around, nighttime comes again, and he is sleeping. Our bed is like this. So I usually sleep on this side, on the left side, and he sleeps on the right side. And on the right side, there is our door that takes you obviously to the restroom. So I left that door a little bit open that night, just like a little tiny bit, because I forgot to close it. And so I was like facing already this way. I was facing towards my left side. He was like facing towards the right. And I was starting to like fall asleep when I hear him go like, oh my god. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I saw like a black shadow coming towards me. And I was like, what? I was like, what? A black shadow? I'm like, there's no one there. There's nothing there. Do you want me to leave a light on? He's like, no, I don't know what's been going on. This is the second day. He's like, I literally saw like a black shadow coming towards me. And that's when I freaked out, guys. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, Jason, like there's something seriously wrong with you. So again, I stay up, I put him in my chest, I start like playing with his hair, I pray, and he falls asleep, right? And so at this point, I'm just like, oh my god, like what's going on with him? So I get up, I get the holy water, I put holy water like all around him, all around the room. At this point, girl, I'm walking in the middle of the night around the whole house, just putting holy water and just praying, you know? I'm like, what's going on? Like, nothing like this had happened. He was perfectly fine. And so I stay up most of the night just thinking. I really wasn't scared, guys, because like, I'm usually not the one to experience stuff. Like, I don't want to say never because like, oh my god, but you know, since I told you guys that the priest came and stuff like that, I haven't experienced anything, me personally, you know? So I just stay up all night just thinking and thinking, what could possibly be wrong? What can it be it? Like, you know, people have been coming to the house. No one has been saying anything. Liam hasn't been seeing anything or like saying anything, because you guys know that little kids are typically the ones that like send stuff like that, you know? And so I was like, yeah, he's not saying anything. He's pretty good. So like, what's going on? And then I started thinking to myself, he went to the sheds. He went to the abandoned sheds in the abandoned house. He didn't go inside, but he was looking outside. So then I'm like, that's what it was. I let Jason sleep. I don't want to wake him up and like freak him out anymore. Like, you know, and I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna let him go to sleep, right? So then the morning comes and he wakes up and I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I know what your problem is. You went to those sheds. I told you to not go there. I told you to not get near there. You never know who lived there. You never know, like, you just never know what was there. And I was like, you see what's happening now? Now you're experiencing stuff. You can't go to sleep. I have to stay up at night just to like, so you can feel safe. So at this point, I'm like, did he pick anything up when he went to the sheds? Or is it just his head messing with him, you know? So at this point I start thinking, I'm like, okay, think Pita, is it maybe just because, you know, sometimes like you're super scared and a lot of the times you don't hear anything. Most of the times you do hear things and it's not just your head, but for other times like it's just your head messing with you because you're scared. I'm like, maybe that's happening to him. Maybe it's just his head messing with him, you know? It's just like his own mind playing tricks on him. So I start telling him like, hey babe, like this is why I'm telling you, like don't even go to the house no more, like don't go. He's like, no, but I really want to go. Everyone's saying that I should go show them the footage of the house. So I was like, don't do it, Jason, please don't do it, just don't go. And he's like, okay, I won't, right? So then that same day, we took our usual routine that we walk like around the neighborhood and stuff like that. And there was a construction guy near, like fixing one of the last houses that is by the street that takes you to a cemetery, right? Jason goes, hey man, I have a question for you. And I'm like, oh my God, what is he going to ask him? And he's like, hey man, I noticed that you guys are like starting to like you guys are starting to work like all the way down to where the cemetery is. Like, are you guys gonna build houses all the way down there? He's like, I don't know if you noticed, but there's like this abandoned house. And I'm like, here he goes again. And the guy's like, oh yeah, man, I think most likely that house is going to be brought down. They're going to like demolish it, and then they're going to start building more houses on that area as well. And I'm like, they're gonna build houses on top of that house? He's like, if you walk down there, you'll notice that like we already like basically, oh, it was a pump. He's like, you'll notice that basically we already like flattened all the street. We flattened everything. And there's like these little sticks with a red little tape around it that marks where a house is going to be built. And so I started looking around. I'm like, dang, that's a lot of houses that are gonna be built. And so Jason's like, you see, I should go before they demolish it. And I'm like, Jason, tú no entiendes, like, do you not understand, Jason? Look how you were feeling like these past 2 days. I don't know how you're going to get tonight because I don't know, but look how you've been feeling for these past 2 nights just because you went over there. Like, I don't know if you picked something up over there or if it was just your mind. I just don't want you to go and for you to be feeling like there's something in the house, you know? I'm like, no, just don't go. He's like, okay, fine, I won't go. Like, I guess I'll just tell everyone, or you'll tell everyone that you didn't let me go. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll tell everyone that I didn't let you go because you were like already like experiencing stuff, you know, when you went to go show them a show. So then a couple of days have passed by and he can go back to sleep now. He's sleeping perfectly fine. And I'm like, okay, good. So then, like I'm telling you guys, the holidays, you guys know that Christmas just passed by, Christmas Eve, all that stuff. So the days pass by, and then his little brother comes over to the house because you guys know the kids are out for school for the holidays and all that stuff. So he comes over, and I told Jason that I need to go to the store to run some errands with Liam. So he's like, yeah, that's fine, I'll stay here with my brother. So I go to Target, and then I go to Ross, and I'm running errands, you know, buying a couple stuff that I need. And so I take a pretty decent time at the stores because I'm like looking around, and also the lines, girl, the lines were insane at every store. And so I come back, and Jason and his brother are chilling and the sofa in the living room, and they're like giggling and laughing and like like saying stuff to each other. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with these two? Like, what's wrong with them, you know? So then I'm like, what is it? Spill it. Spill the beans. What is it? He's like, no, nothing. We're fine. We're fine. And I'm like, Jason, what is it? Tell me. And he's like, we went to the house. And I'm like, what house, Jason? He's like, we went to the house. We went to the house. And I was like, are you serious, Jason? Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, there's nothing wrong. There was construction going on. There was people around there. He's like, it wasn't even scary. It was still daytime. He's like, we also went inside the house. Do you want to see? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, no, I do not want to see. What were you doing inside the house? He's like, well, my brother was already here with me, so I told him to go with me, and I wasn't even that scared because he was with me, and he went inside with me to the house as well, and I recorded everything to show everyone like the footage. And I was like, you know what, Jason, at this point, if you're not able to sleep at night, like, don't come telling me anything. Just go somewhere else. I'm gonna leave to the sofa. I'm gonna leave you alone. You are like doing this to yourself, and if you can't sleep at night tonight, don't come telling me I can't go to sleep, you know? I was like, you fix it on your own, or you go tell your brother to hug you at night. This house, like I told you guys, this is where the owner of all this land lived at one point. They were farmers, so he had a couple of houses. And so I told you guys that in the cemetery, the owner of this land, he was buried there with like all his family, and that was his wish, to be buried near his home. So we told you guys we looked for the house, but we were never really able to find it. And that is because when we went to go look at the cemetery, we were like, the adrenaline was pumping, girl. And we really didn't pay attention to our surroundings because we were just like freaking out, you know? And so then we looked in Google Maps and we saw that there was a house, but we never really saw the house because we were in a rush. And then we did realize that the house was there, but it was just surrounded by trees. That's why we really didn't pay attention. So the house was there the whole time. It's just that we really didn't pay much attention to like what was around us and stuff like that, you know? And so this house, guys, is super old. It's like almost falling apart. Jason tells me that he went inside the house. He shows me the footage. So they put 2x4 sticks inside the house, so then that can like sustain the house and it can stay up and it won't collapse and stuff like that. So Jason like records for you guys the outside and inside of the house. So I'll play that clip for you guys right now. So as you guys can see, that is what the house looks like. I honestly don't know how the heck he did it. I would have never had the guts to do any of that stuff. And it's kind of crazy to think that that is where he lived with his family at one point. Like, I don't know, when I saw that clip, guys, like a lot of things just came to my mind. I was like, that's insane how someone's entire life was in that house with his family, you know, and like now he's like buried near his home and stuff like that. But to me, it's also crazy because like his home is going to be brought down. Like they're going to knock it down and they're going to build houses on top of his house. So to me, it was just like, one day you're here and then another day you're gone and life goes on. Like the world doesn't stop for you, like life goes on. And like how his wish was, I want to be buried near my home. And he is close to his home, but his home is going to be demolished and brought down. You know, like they're going to knock down his house and then someone else is going to be living where he lived. Like they're going to build another house on top of where his house was. You know, like that's crazy to me, like what? So yeah, he went to go show you guys the house, but after that he hasn't experienced anything. Whenever he went to go record the first sheds and stuff, he only experienced those things for the first 2 days, and then he wasn't like experiencing anything. I was praying for him and like all that stuff. Ever since the priest came, guys, really haven't experienced anything in the house. It was just Jason those 2 nights, you know, that happened when he went to go check out the shed. Maybe it was just his head playing tricks on him because, you know, like sometimes, like I said, your mind just played tricks on you because you're just like so scared. So maybe he was freaking out and then he was just like freaking out even more and stuff like that, you know? Or maybe he was seeing things. I don't know, but it did go away. It only lasted like 2 nights. And so ever since this whole situation thing had happened, guys, since the priest came and all that stuff, we go to church now on Sundays, every Sunday. We used to go, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like we didn't used to go to church. We used to go to church like every other Sunday, or like a Sunday here, not a Sunday now, and like next Sunday, maybe not next Sunday. So, you know, it's not like we would do it like a weekly thing. And now we try to do it every week. We go to church every week and we just pray a lot. And so far, nothing has happened. My son Liam hasn't been seeing anything, experiencing anything. It was just that thing that happened to Jason for 2 nights, and he just wanted me to show you guys the footage of the first sheds with the house and then the house that's near the cemetery. So yeah, guys, that is the update that I wanted to give to you guys and tell you guys about that. So yeah, guys, that is that. I just wanted to update you guys on that very quickly. Also, I'm gonna do like a little quick life update. A lot of you guys have been asking me a lot of questions. I have a vlogging channel where I basically have answered all these questions, guys, but I know not a lot of you guys follow my vlog channel, or maybe a lot of you guys didn't know that I had a vlog channel, but I do have a vlog channel. So a lot of you guys have been asking me, when is my due date? So my due date is May 31st of 2020. So according to the doctors, I am due May 31st of 2020. Also, you guys have been asking me, when is the gender reveal? A lot of you guys think that I already know the gender, and I just don't want to tell you guys, and I genuinely do not know the gender, not yet. So the gender, I will be knowing it. I am not sure, guys, if it is the first appointment that I have for the month of January, or if she's going to schedule me for a second one to know, to do like the sex scan and all that stuff, to know the sex of the baby. I know for sure, the gender of the baby. I should know it around the 2nd or 3rd week of January, somewhere around there. A lot of you guys are also asking me if I'm going to be hosting a gender reveal party, because I know for my first son, for Liam, I did do a gender reveal, but since with this baby, I don't get to find out the gender till like 2nd or 3rd week of January. Here in Texas, that month, like January and February, are like some of the coldest months, guys. So that's why we are still a little indecisive if we are going to be hosting a gender reveal party, or if we're just going to do something super intimate for our immediate family, just inside of the house. Just go find out the gender outside and come back inside. Or if it's just going to be me, Jason, and Liam finding out the gender. We're still super indecisive about that, but either way, whether we do it just 3 of us or with our immediate family, we're still going to vlog it for you guys. Also, you guys have been asking me if I want a boy or a girl. Every single time I go live, everyone's like, Pita, do you want a boy? Do you want a girl? Do you want a boy? Do you want a girl? It really doesn't matter, guys. If I have a boy, I'll have 3 men in my life that I will love for my entire life. If I have a girl, woo, I will no longer be outnumbered, because I am so outnumbered with these boys, guys. You guys have no idea. It is ridiculous. They are the definition of boys. Like sometimes they're having like inside jokes and like laughing at something, and I asked my son Liam, like, what are you guys laughing about? He's like, sorry mommy, this is only for boys. We are all done with our makeup and the story time, and also update whether we're still being haunted, and also a quick little life update. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to follow me more on like a personal level and stuff like that, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my vlogging channel. It is the A Family. I will leave it link down below. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this story time slash get Get Ready With Me. I seriously love you guys so much. I hope you guys had a blast with your family for the holidays. I just seriously want to say I'm so thankful for you guys. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait for New Year's. 2020, baby, is our year. So yeah, guys, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.